Whether it be fiction, folklore, or history, one of my favorite characters is the creepy old woman in the woods. Hag, swamp witch, granny witch, doesn't matter. Each region has their own versions, some good, some bad, but they all seem to give me pause. I've recently came across a Cherokee legend from the Appalachian Mountains that met all of the criteria for what I look for in those type of stories. A recluse, magical, feared, a devourer of children. Some say she was a story to keep children from wandering too far into the woods. Others say she was real, and still share her story even today. But you know what they say? At the heart of every legend lies a grain of truth. So stick around, and let's explore the Cherokee legend of Spearfinger. Everyone loves a good, strange, weird, or bizarre story. Well, welcome to the American South, where dark legends and haunted history lurk around every corner. Where superstition, folklore, and a touch of backwoods magic blend with everyday culture. Some say, in order to survive. This is Dixie After Dark. The legend of Spearfinger originates from the eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina region of the Appalachian Mountains. Spearfinger was a Cherokee entity that lived high in the mountains. Some describe her as a witch, others as a monster. There are two main names she is known by. One translates to Spearfinger, the description of her right forefinger that resembles an obsidian knife or spear. The other name translates to Stone Dress, describing her impenetrable stone-like skin that could deflect or shatter even the most accurate hits from both arrow and spear. Spearfinger does have one weak spot though, her heart, but not where you'd expect it to be. Spearfinger's heart is fully exposed in the palm of her right hand, a hand she always keeps in a tight fist, protected by her long, dagger-like weapon of a finger. Being made of stone, they say Spearfinger sounds like thunder as she walks, and crushes stones beneath her feet. She would often wander the trails throughout the mountains, singing her favorite songs with her raven friend. As Spearfinger would draw near to different villages, her voice would echo down the mountainside, scaring the birds away from the forest. An interesting warning sign that is universally recognized today, be you native or not. Spearfinger has other powers outside of her stone skin and sharp forefinger. She is known to shapeshift into family members of her child victims. There is one weakness to that though. While in human form, she is unable to change back to her original form as long as anyone is looking. It seems that Spearfinger's favorite disguise is that of a harmless old lady. Another power she wields from different legends is the ability to manipulate stone. She can pick up boulders with ease, stack them, break them apart, even morph them together. They say that Spearfinger would even use these powers to build bridges between mountain peaks. One such story points out a massive bridge structure between Hiwassee and Whiteside Mountain in the Blue Ridge. It's said that the structure was so massive, though, that it angered the higher beings for coming too close to the upper world, much like the biblical story of the Tower of Babel. It's said the higher beings destroyed the bridge by striking it with lightning. As far as interactions with the Cherokee, Spearfinger seems to have preferred to catch her victims when they wandered off from groups, such as picking berries or getting water from streams. She was typically alerted to the presence of the Cherokee by smoke that rose from the valleys. Traditionally in the fall season, the Cherokee would burn large brush fires to hunt for fallen chestnuts. These widespread fires never went without notice to Spearfinger. Taking on her favorite disguise of an elderly woman, Spearfinger would prowl along the trails, ready to coax out the children, offering to fix their hair. It wouldn't be long before a little one would fall into her trap. They would trustingly lay their head in Spearfinger's lap as she combed through their hair gently until the child fell asleep. It was then that Spearfinger would stab the little one through the neck or heart with her long finger that she had previously kept hidden. Her favorite food? The child's liver. Because of this, the Cherokee discouraged anyone from wandering off and became wary of anyone who did. Who knows? Anyone returning to their own could be Spearfinger in disguise. Many stories have Spearfinger doing just that, returning to villages disguised as her victim, assuming the life of that person. And once everyone went to bed for the night, Spearfinger would attack whoever she wanted. Eventually, the Cherokee were overwhelmed with these attacks. They called a great council of surrounding villages to try to find a way to stop the attacks and rid the land of Spearfinger for good. A medicine man explained to them all he knew about Spearfinger, how she operated, how she lured her victims in, and how she used her long finger as a weapon. He also told them how to attract Spearfinger into their attack. Then what, you might ask? Well, the medicine man didn't know, but he assured the people that they might get lucky. Yeah, they might get lucky. You can imagine the kind of responses the medicine man got from the crowd, but at the end of it all, what else could they do? The Cherokee went about digging a large pit to try and trap Spearfinger, then covered it with brush. Once this was completed, they set out in building a large bonfire with freshly cut saplings, knowing the live green wood would send up the most smoke possible. And it worked. Spearfinger saw the smoke from atop her mountain and ran down to investigate. It wasn't long before the Cherokee spotted an old woman emerging from the forest, a blanket covering her right hand, calling to them for help. The Cherokee were wary of this. There was a chance this could be Spearfinger, but there was also a chance it could be someone from a neighboring village. The medicine man saw through the trick, though, and was the first to act. He hurled his spear at the woman with all his might and scored a direct hit, but the spear shattered into splinters. The rest of the men then jumped into action, attacking her with arrow after arrow, but they only seemed to bounce off their enemy. In a rage, Spearfinger threw her blanket aside, revealing her long, deadly finger before rushing at the group, right into the pit they had prepared for her. Although the pit was outfitted with stakes at the bottom, none of them pierced Spearfinger's skin. She swatted the stakes away as if they were just blades of grass. It was then that what the Cherokee referred to as celestial beings came down in the form of birds to help. A bird called a titmouse flew into the hunting party, singing, "Heart, heart, heart." The Cherokee took aim at Spearfinger's chest, but all the arrows bounced away or shattered on impact. Angered by this, one hunter caught the titmouse and cut out its tongue for being a liar. Poor thing. It seems the titmouse was cursed, just for not being specific enough. It was then that another bird, a chickadee, landed on Spearfinger's right hand. The hunters took this as a sign and adjusted their point of attack on Spearfinger's deadly right hand, the one she held in a tight fist, protecting her exposed heart. It's said that one well-aimed spear hit Spearfinger in the wrist, severing her hand from her arm. When the fallen hand exposed her heart, they unleashed their arrows immediately. Spearfinger fell to the ground, twitched once, then was still. Spearfinger's wrath on the land and on the Cherokee was over. In the aftermath, the Chickadee became known to the Cherokee people as the truth teller, and some even today take it as a sign when one is found perched near a home that anyone traveling will make it home safely. Despite her death, the Cherokee people still tell the stories of Spearfinger today, and will often point out places where her stone bridges fell. So, what was Spearfinger? Does she tie in any way with the Nunahi from one of our previous videos? If we continue on that theory that the Nunahi were tied in any way with the Celtic Tuatha De Danann, then it's possible. It's clear that Spearfinger was no ordinary human, and is widely recorded that the Tuatha De Danann contained both good and evil entities. Regardless of if you want to go that route or not, one thing is made perfectly clear by the Cherokee people. Spearfinger was Spearfinger. She was real, a curse to the people, and she walks the land no more.